Hi, Ruma.
Hey Fiona, how are you?
Hi, good, thanks.
That's
So,
good.
what's the comparison rate?
Comparison rate in a home loan?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So as you know, I'm going to pick it up later. Let's just do it first. So comparison rate is, normally people ask me this question whenever we send them an interest rate. They say, okay, what's going to be my comparison rate? And for their own knowledge, they actually look at on the website, on the bank's website. But I always say talk to us about comparison rate rather than looking on the website. The reason why, because banks comparison, let me first define you what's a comparison rate. So let's say your interest rate is 3.39%.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main rate. And you're going to pay some sort of a fee with that, obviously. You pay, let's say, I'm assuming, although we do have a loan which is no fee at all. If let's say the product doesn't have any fee at all, meaning no application, no ongoing, no valuation, nothing at all, then the comparison rate is exactly the same, what your actual rate is. If there is, let's say, an annual fee of 395 per annum, so the banks do a comparison rate over, let's say, 30 years time or 15 years time or whatever the case may be. Different banks have different comparison rate calculations. So let's say they do it over 30 years. So what they're going to do is 395 times 30, they'll put up a fee which the client may have to pay if they keep the loan for 30 years. So they then add it up in the interest rate on top of the interest rate. So they average it out basically. So that's what called comparison rate. So so let's say if there's no fee, then the comparison rate is 3.29. But what I say to my clients, look, nobody keeps a loan for 30 years with the bank.
Yeah.
So if let's say they want to do it, they want to keep the loan for 5 years, for example. So let us know and we will calculate this fee for 5 years. And then we can give them a true comparison rate as per their requirement rather than a standardized, just go to the website and check this comparison rate from there. That's misleading actually. So we should start. I've seen so many articles in different magazines now that the brokers are saying don't just give a comparison rate like that unless you know for how many years and what sort of fees involved, etc., etc. So a comparison rate is when all the fee and charges are inclusive or added on top of the rate. That's a comparison rate.
Thank you.
Thanks.